I speak to you in the name of the one holy and living God. Please be seated. Rarely do I wish for things that are utterly unreasonable. But as I thought about preaching for you this morning, I wished I had a valorous voice so that I could sing my way through this message. O Lord my God, when I, in awesome wonder, consider all the worlds your hands have made, in spite of being stunned by all the stars and hearing the rolling thunder, confounded by your power throughout the universe displayed, I wrestle with you. What am I thinking? What's wrong with me? I grapple, I grunt, I battle over everything, from my preference to indulge my, introverted self, guilt for being a single mom and not remarrying, worry about our church surviving the COVID crisis, fear about the future of our country and the world, mourning for the misery of the many I see but cannot tend. And at the end of the dark night of battle, I rise again in the morning in the company of angels at this place of awesome wonder, awakened in the world of sunrises and rolling thunder, morning doves, and a multiverse displayed. And my soul sings. How awesome is this place? How awesome this moment. And I am well in my soul. I am well with my soul until I turn on the radio. Oh, and there I hear it, voices that are bound and determined to drive me into my tiny little silo, my little world of my preferences, my beliefs, my ideas. Voices that are determined to stir up my emotions so that I will add my tongue to the trouble and my temper to the tempest and tumult that wants to tear apart families and friends and a country. That dark night of battling begins again. Oh God, are you not paying attention? Do you not see what we're doing? Can't you fix this? Can't you fix those people? Well, last week, you may recall, we all removed our blue shirts and our red caps to uncover our white robes. Robes that are the outward and visible sign of our inherent holiness. White robes remind us who and whose we are. People together blessed and meant to be a blessing. Well, here's the news. This week, I believe, we need to strip down further. Yes, all the way down to our bare naked selves. Innocent, vulnerable, and free. Free as the day that we were born. Free to be born again and again and again. As through the woods and forest glades we wander, and hear the birds sing sweetly in the trees, when we look down from lofty mountains' grandeur and see the brook, and feel the gentle breeze, and our souls sing together. How awesome is this place? How awesome this moment. We are born again. It is well. It is well with our souls. It is well. You see, if we are truly followers of Jesus, we are born again and again and again. Every single moment, we are born again to savor the grace and glory and grandeur of this world. We're born again to handle the twists and the tangles of creation. Yes, it's messy. Life is messy. It always has been. Guessing it always will be. We're born again to choose over and over and over again to align our lives in God's desire for us, God's desire for our holiness. So what does that have to say to us today? Here we are, the heels of a not quite settled election. If our candidate has lost, we choose a holy way to grieve, to respond, and to move on. And if our candidate has won, we choose a holy way to celebrate, to respond, and move on. In either case, we wake up together in the morning. And together we honor the feelings of one another. Because we're born again in the company of angels, and together we bow down ever so humbly in adoration and proclaim, my God, how great thou art, how great thou art. Yes, God is great. We are not. God is great. Politicians are not. Now, even though most of those of us here this morning are actually hovering in Zoom or Facebook Live cyberspace, I can see some of your eyes rolling and some steam escaping your ears. I mean, you might be crossing your legs and maybe your arms saying, yeah, I don't know about this. So I beg you to please listen. 6 years ago, a group of folks gathered every Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock at Barnes & Noble at the Starbucks. And we called that gathering, You've Got Questions? We've Got Questions. We had lots of questions. Parishioners and Starbucks patrons wrestled with every manner of question for years. You know, what if there is no God? Can there be a just war? How does birth control or abortion align with valuing life and valuing a person's right to liberty? You know, easy questions. Well, 4 years ago, after Donald Trump won the presidential election, there was diverse emotional conversation at that table, as you might guess. And I will never forget the wisdom spoken with the authority of an octogenarian who had weathered the tide of elections, beginning with Warren Harding. I mean, how many of you know when Warren Harding was elected president? I know a couple of people are nodding, and I know those historians who do. Petite, white-haired, bespectacled Miss Carolyn expounded. Having come through 16 presidential elections, this is what I've learned, she said. When my candidate wins, they're never as good as I hoped. And when the other candidate wins, they're never as bad as I fear. And then Miss Carolyn, who always let us know exactly where she stood, said, oh, and when they elected Obama, I was horrified. I thought it just couldn't get worse than that. But, you know, I have to admit, even he did some good things. after a long, dark night of grappling, grunting, and groaning, and battling over everything from proper protocol in face of COVID-19, the role of media information and disinformation, what is truth, who gets to decide, to an impassioned presidential election. We, the people of God, wake up. Wake up, born again, in this world of sunrises and rolling thunder, morning doves and a multiverse displayed, and together our souls ever so humbly sing. And so I want you, if you have a service bulletin on your phone or on your computer, several of you here in the sanctuary with me, in paper, to turn to page 14. This is a famous hymn, I vow to thee my country. It's a British hymn. And I want to say it, and invite you to say it with me if you like, sing it if you like. I vow to thee my country, all earthly things above, entire and whole and perfect, the service of my love, the love that asks no questions, the love that stands the test, that lays upon the altar the dearest and the best, the love that never falters, the love that pays the price, the love that makes undaunted the final sacrifice, a love that asks no questions, a love that stands the test, that lays upon the altar the dearest and the best. I vow to thee, my country, all earthly things above, entire and whole and perfect, the service of my love. And there's another country I've heard of long ago, most dear to them who love her, most great to them that know. We may not count her armies, we may not see her king. Her fortress is a faithful heart, her pride is suffering. And soul by soul and silently, her silent bounds increase, and her ways are ways of gentleness, and all her paths are peace. We may not count her armies, we may not see her king. Her fortress is a faithful heart, her pride is suffering. And soul by soul and silently, her silent bounds increase, and her ways are ways of gentleness, and all her paths are peace. And all God's people wake up in the morning and consider this world of sunrises and stars and rolling thunder. And we can sing, all is well with my soul. Amen. I begin with a call to action aimed at what is right, and along with the theme of gratitude, I would invite you to create a 10 or 15-second video on your phone and send it to dalearbor@me.com of you letting us know for what you are grateful. Now, why am I asking you to do that? I'm part of the Northwest Multi-Faith Clergy Group, and we gathered by Zoom this past week and decided that all together we'd like to put on the Northwest YouTube channel a compilation from all the different congregations, all these different denominations, of what we are grateful for in this season.